All right. Guys, welcome back to another FPL banter show for the big double game week. Yes, that's right, the big double game week 25. I am alone today. I'm your host, Kat. Um, yeah, still fixing, you know, syncing with the guys really. We want to give you guys the best quality when it comes to the show. So we are gonna try and do another show, drop it on Thursday for you guys. More of a team review and talking about what's the best chip, the optimal chip to use in Gameweek 25. But for this show, what we're gonna do really is focus on what is the right team for Gameweek 25. And I think it's about what are the best assets to have, considering that some of them are going to be blanking in Gameweek 26. Who are the main doublers you want to get for this game week 25, making sure we strike that balance. And yeah, then I've done a free hit team as well, trying to incorporate basically what I've said. I'm not just trying because there's no one way. But let's see what we can do, guys. Let's see what we can do. Cool. But first things first, you know how we do over here. Guys, if you're loving the content, please make sure that you hit that like button, comment, because we would really love to get your guys' views on what we do, and subscribe. And let's start off with the league table. As you'll notice, I had another red arrow, but it's not about me. Big Mouth FC had another. I don't want to say bad game week. It wasn't his best as well, but he's slipping. And I've said this last week, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again, Mikey. I don't know what you need to do, bro. You need to do something. And the worrying part is you've already used your wild card. So I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be triple captaining this game week. So I don't know. Let's see how that works. Maybe going against the crowd might help you there. Hoping Haaland slips. Yeah, Legendary Kings is being legendary and catching up to Big Mouth FC. Siamo's keeping up there in the top three, top four. Keeps bouncing back in and up between me and my brother. Chaps, and I had honestly an average game week, but I'm keeping up with them, and really that's pretty much the job right now. And hopefully breaking off later. And then you got Tabo there, who's also trying to stay in the game. I'm proud, man. I'm proud. I have to admit I'm proud. Goba, I'm not proud, eh? I don't know. I'm not proud. Look, you're keeping up. I believe you can turn it around. I totally do. Anybody can turn it around at this point in the season. But you gotta show me something, bro. You gotta show me something, FPL Banter's right behind him there, number 8. And then Naz kicked in the balls is definitely kicking people in the balls. He's maintained his position there at number 9. And then Clapback FC, Sprinkle, making it into the top 10. I love that name, bro. I love it. I love it. Guys, if you want to join this league, please do. The league code is right there at the bottom. We talk about and focus only on the guys who made it in the top 10. And yeah, it's meant to be a fun league, growing our community, and hopefully we could start like a Discord or something where we could banter each other in the Discord, and yeah, just work together in some way to give ourselves a better game week. So let's get right into it. Oh no, don't want to reveal that yet. Let's go to the fixture ticker. Cool. So I took out the fixture ticker just for these next 3 game weeks because I think that's as far as we should be thinking about, in the sense that those are concrete fixtures we know about, right? Now there's so much stuff to take into consideration, but let's just look at what's at hand. All right, Gaming 25, you need some doublers. You need the main doublers, but some sacrifices are going to need to be made, and that's what I brought this fixture ticket up for, is the sacrifices. Who are the people sacrificing? Let's try to go through these sacrifices and these dilemmas that we're having and talk about them, and I'll give you my views, and I'd really love you guys to leave your views in the comment section. Now, let's bring up, I think we'll start from the top there. We've got Man City, we'll talk about them, and Brentford in the second there. I think the discussion there with Brentford is it Tony or Darwin, and that discussion is there because if you look at Liverpool's fixtures a bit lower down, they're blanking in 26. There are some people who have that dilemma. Honestly, I think it should be Tony, because Tony helps you out in the long run. And I say in the long run, including even in game week 29. So he's also on penalties, and he's just more clinical. He's also on set pieces as well. So yes, he doesn't have the best of fixtures, but if you don't want to be taking hits to bring a player in and then take a player out as well, which I feel is what you're going to be doing with Darwin. Maybe you're just going to use one transfer. Fine, go for Darwin. But if you don't have the free transfers and you're going to be taking a hit to bring Darwin in and just take him out, that's too many transfers. Go for Tony, in my opinion. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. But I think from Brentford's side, he's basically the only real main asset I would say include in your doublers. The others you can take your chance with. Like I said, it's not a good fixture there. So I would say he's part of the right team. Then going with Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins, everybody's trying to decide whether or not to sacrifice him because from what we know, I believe, yes, they have a confirmed fixture for game week 29, which is going to be the big blank game week. And right now, sadly, we do have to consider it. We do have to consider it because we don't want to be taking too many hits in order to fix our team for game week 29. And if you're going to use your free hit in game week 29, then of course, you don't have to worry about it. Just, go on as you would. But for those who are not, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to sacrifice Watkins if you're bringing in Haaland. Now, a lot of people have bought in Haaland already, and I think a lot of people are on like the cuffs of like, should I bring him in? Should I not bring him in? Because it's not easy to go up to Haaland from, say, an Alvarez, which is what some people had, or Solanke, which is what some people have. So you need somebody who's a bit higher up. So I think if it's for Haaland, yeah, sure, sacrifice it. There is the other dilemma where people are like, okay, but what about Ollie for Darwin? Look, they're playing Fulham, right? And they're playing Fulham away. Yeah, fine. They didn't have a good match against Man United, but hey man, this is Watkins. If this guy's not scoring, he's assisting. Basically, he's highly involved in the team's goal scoring affairs. So yeah, fine. They're both not on penalties. Having said that, making my decision on the spot, I'd have to go for Darwin. I think it's about the ceiling, the ceiling that Darwin has. He has a lot to bring. And this is me taking the risk. If I wasn't taking the risk, I would keep Watkins. I would keep Watkins if I wasn't taking the risk. But I would go for Darwin because, dude, let's be honest, guys. Darwin could walk away with like 20 points from this game week. Score double this, score double that. That's the potential we all know Darwin has. And irritatingly, he never fulfills. But it's basically Darwin for 2 fixtures versus Watkins. Most of us are going to pick Darwin, And if he does hold 20 or a good 15, maybe we can use that. Maybe we can use, but I think 20 is okay. We can use that that extra transfer to transfer him out back to Watkins. So that's my take on that. Just going further down, I think Arsenal assets are the best assets to bring in defensively, specifically because we're still in that clean sheet dilemma, clean sheet crisis, really, where there's not a lot of the big teams that we're relying on to give us clean sheets, giving us clean sheets. So I think after their 6-0 win, it's just solidifying really their defense. And I'd say Arsenal. On the Arsenal side, I'll double up on the defense and of course have Saka, if he's going to be in your team. cool. Then looking at Liverpool, we'll discuss them a bit later on. I think I want to go on to Luton. I would, for Luton in this game week, there aren't any essential players. There aren't any players I think you need to bring in. Because remember, you're trying to also strike that balance for game week 26. Yes, they're playing game week 29, so for the long run, they're good. But if you know you don't have enough transfers, I don't think you need to bring them in for this game week. Now, if you are going to bring them in, I think you can think of them more as enablers. And I wouldn't bring any of the defensive assets like a lot of people are going in for Doherty, but I think that's because to add the number of fixtures that their players will be having in the game week. Now, I would look at Barkley or Adebayor, and maybe even Morris, maybe, but I think Adebayor's been in more form than Morris in my opinion. So I would just look at those three and not look at the defensive assets from Luton. Then moving on to Man United, I think is a team that's come into form. The thing with Man United is they've been so inconsistent. You're not sure whether or not you can start relying on their assets. I was pondering on bringing in Maguire. I know, crazy, but he's performing. He's performing. He gave an assist on the weekend, and he is a threat when it comes to headers, like Gabriel Magalhaes is at Arsenal, and Van Dijk as well. So he's got Luton, and then he's got Fulham. Those are two good fixtures, back to back. So I think you can bring in a Man United asset. I think an enabler as well as Garnacho. So, I don't think we're looking to bring in the guys who are really expensive, like Bruno Fernandes or Rashford, because those guys are just too expensive. You want to basically save that money for the Phil Fodens or the KDBs if you're trying to accommodate both of them at the same time, along with Haaland and the other Liverpool assets. Right. I think Rasmus Højlund is also a good mention, but those spots are filled. Let's not lie to each other. We already have our front three that we know definitely we want to bring in. But if you can't fill those front three spots with Haaland, Tony, and Darwin, well, then I think Rasmus Højlund's a definite shot. I think he's returned in the past 4 Premier League games and 5 with the Cup game as well. So definitely somebody to shout out in the sense that he's a cheaper asset than your Bruno Fernandes and your Marcus Rashford as well. Then looking at Newcastle, I think only person here really for me is okay, fine, two, Gordon and Trippier. Yeah, I don't think there's much to be said. My thing is, I don't think I would bring them in. I think if you have them, keep them. If you have them, keep them. Yeah, you could sell them on later on down the line, or maybe even in game week 26, only because they're playing Arsenal away. So yeah, that's my only thing. It's just that next fixture of theirs, and then they got another nice fixture, which is Wolves at home. So maybe you don't have to sell them; you could just bench them. But yeah, they're good assets to have for this game week 25. And then just looking down the order as well, Spurs, Son is back. We saw Son and Richarlison play. I don't know, Richarlison wasn't performing. He was back to his old Richarlison self, missing like one-on-ones and stuff. He did give a key pass to Son to give the assist to, I believe it's Pape Sarr. Yeah, look, I wouldn't bring any Spurs players now. The time to bring in the Spurs players is game week 27. That's the time to bring them in. I think if you have them, you can keep Richarlison. A lot of people had Richarlison. So you can keep Richarlison and let him go. I don't think waste the transfer on him necessarily to bring in a double. No. Yes, if you're trying to use that cash from him, fine. But I would look to bring in I'd look to leave him in and bring in a double, maybe if it's cash you really need. I don't know, bring in an enabler from Luton and put in Barkley, and then use that money that you've sold from which you got from a lower price player and to upgrade into a better player. So yeah, that would be my thing. I think last one is Cole Palmer. I wouldn't really mention anybody else from Chelsea, and the conundrum here for them is for people is, yo, do we sell Cole Palmer? Do we not sell him? Like, look, if you can afford to keep him, and I say afford to keep him in the sense of bench him in that game in 26, keep him. Cole Palmer has proven to be a good asset throughout the season. You know, I mean, he's the penalty taker, and most people got him at 4.9. That is a steal, man. That is a steal. That was like that Trent Alexander steal when he was 4.5, and he was, you know, in his breakout season. So yeah, I'd say if you can afford to, keep him. I myself sold him because I needed to make way for people and change my teams and stuff like that. And yeah, you know, I mean, he did a 10-pointer. Can't remember. I think it's a 10-pointer or a 12-pointer bonus points. But yeah, he, you know, he helped out, got 2 assists against Crystal Palace. So I think he's a keeper if you can. But if you need to move him on, understandingly so, because of the fixture as well. I think if there's anybody who can take something from Man City, it's definitely Cole Palmer. So they got 4-4 against Man City. I guess it was the home leg, but this is the away leg. So if you're scared, yeah, you can take him out, considering that he also blanks in game week 26. Yeah, that's my views on that. I think let's talk about the main assets now from City. Now, I think it's worth saying this, but Haaland is essential. And I say that because there's going to be a lot of people triple captaining him in this game week 25. Now, followed by De Bruyne, who I wouldn't say is essential, you know, but quite frankly, when you have those two pairing up, I like to think of it as like Kobe and Shaq days, man. Yeah, bro, it's just Haaland all day, just feeding. KDB feeding Haaland all day, you know. So it's definitely a pair to have. KDB has been returning for every game since he came back from injury, and I think I would rather have him over Foden. If you don't have the money, then fine, you can drop to a Foden. I think Alvarez has been making an appearance, you know, with Haaland there, but in terms of returning, where he's playing, his positioning really isn't necessarily contributing directly to the goal, so assisting or scoring. So he's sort of taken a back seat, you know, and Foden shifting more to the right. He can be and has been really involved in the goals as well. So when it comes to who's essential, who you have to bring in, no matter what, take a hit or not, bring in Haaland. And is this the best double game week to triple captain him based on the fixtures? Yeah, because it's Haaland at home, you know. Yeah, it's Haaland at home. If you're brave enough to go against the crowd, go against the crowd in whatever way you do it. Just try to be calculated about it as well. So it's Haaland, it's KDB, it's Foden. Where I'd say Haaland is essential, and then in terms of bringing in other assets, yeah, bring in, I'd say, De Bruyne and Foden. And notice how there isn't any. This is the predicted points for the Man City assets. Notice there's no defenders, and it's because of that conundrum. We don't know which defenders to bring in. Now, for your sake, if I was to say which defender, and you're like, give me a defender, Cat, give me a defender, I think you can bring in. See, the issue is the defenders will make definitely one appearance. It's bringing in two. Yes, of course. In fact, you know what? this is the defender I'm going to say must bring in the goalie. Bring in the goalie. You want those clean sheets or whatever, bring the goalie. I mean, there's not a lot of defenders anyway that are giving you like bonus points or some stuff like that, you know. If I was to put it in a rank, I'd say bring in the goalie, you know. And this I guess would be on the terms of free hit. Bring in the goalie, and then if there was another defender, I would say bring in Ake. I think he's very attacking when it comes to the corners, you know. I'd bring in Ake. I think he'll play two games, and then I would bring in Kyle Walker. So Edison, Ake, Kyle Walker, only because Kyle Walker was started off the bench in this previous game, and now, yes, he was kept for Copenhagen, but I think that, along with Chelsea being there, I think Pep is gonna want him for that Chelsea game. He is basically the captain, so I think he'll definitely play that Chelsea game. Will he play that Brentford game? I think so too. I don't know if he will. I think so too. So yeah, those are the defenders I would have, and the assets I would have from Man City. Right now, let's talk about Liverpool. Right, right off the bat, I think let's talk about Salah first, because Salah is the news people are waiting for. Right now, I personally don't think that Salah will be ready. And even if Klopp says that he's looking better, he is in first team training or even just parts of training. Even if Salah does make it to one match, I don't think it's worth bringing him in. One, he's too much money. Two, he blanks the next game week. And three, even if he does come in and he only works like a 4 point out of a doubler, bro, that's no. I think stick to Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez, and then moving on to the other dilemma, which is what do you do with Trent? I think wait for Klopp's news. We need to find out really how bad this is. I don't know how bad it is. I know he's flagged, but the other conundrum with Trent really is Connor Bradley gonna play? If you don't want the headache, move straight to Virgil van Dijk, which is what I've done. I don't need that headache. I've got other headaches in FPL. But if you don't want the headache, move straight to Virgil van Dijk. If you want to take your risks, your chance, and you fine with holding that money in Trent, then wait for the news. I think even if you hear that he is injured and he's not going to be able to play, I still wouldn't move to Connor Bradley. I know Gomez is back as well, so he could play there in the position as well. But my issue is there's just too many variables in that specific position. So I would just move to Virgil van Dijk, knowing very well that I'm going to get 2 fixtures, and hoping that I get a clean sheet in at least one of them. So, yeah, that's my thing here, guys. Let's not bring in an asset which has a double game week, but only the possibility of playing one game. And that's basically what I'm trying to conclude with Salah and even Trent. Like, yes, they have one of the most highest ceilings in the Liverpool team when it comes to, double game weeks and so, but if you know for a fact that they're most likely only going to play one game, not both games, yeah. And at this rate with Trent as well, it's like that one game that he does play, he might not even play a full 90 minutes. So, yeah, man. Yeah, and with Salah coming back as well, even if it's for the Luton game, I still don't think he'll play a full 90 minutes. I don't. And even if he does and he scores 1 goal or something, it's like, guys, I just don't think it's worth it. I really don't think it's worth it. I think the assets to go for here, it's Diogo Jota, Darwin, and Virgil van Dijk. It's straightforward. I think stick to it. They'll definitely play, even if Salah does come back. I think Darwin and Jota will definitely get 90 minutes from one game, even if it's a late sub. So like an 80 minute, 70 minute sub. I think that's enough minutes for both Darwin and Jota. And even in the next game as well, depending on if Salah comes in for the last 20 minutes or so, I think there's still more than enough minutes for both of those guys to do something. So I would stick to those three assets for Liverpool. Then Brentford. Now, yes, I did say Tony is the only real asset, but I think it's worth noting Reguilon, because I mentioned this actually in my previous video, that yeah, man, he's come in, and he has fit like a glove. I was saying whether or not he will fit like a glove or not, but he's returned again. He's returned again. So I think he's a definite player to consider if you're looking to bring in another Brentford player. The sucky thing is that he's a defender, and the fixture is definitely not good. So that's why I just wanted to say honorable mention. I would bring in Reguilon there. And the reason why I brought this slide up is because maybe you're considering of loading up on the Brentford assets because you're also preparing towards Gameweek 29, which you have to do in terms of considering so that you're not spending too much taking hits to set up your team, or when the time comes and it's 29, or making too many unnecessary transfers. But yeah, I think that the next player after that really that I would consider is Flecken. I think not this game week though, but in the following game weeks, I would bring in Flecken. Yeah, as another player there. The other guys I don't necessarily rate them. I mean, I've got Jensen myself, but that was just to fill a midfield spot. Yeah, and he himself as well has got a foot on set pieces. So we'll see, man. We'll see how that does. So let's take a look at the free hit team that I've created, right? Now, I'll start up in goals. So I've got Raya in goals with Kaminsky, right? And over there, it's really Raya's playing against Burnley. So I think that's a clean sheet. I honestly believe that's a clean sheet for the guys there. Kaminsky, for me, would be the backup goalkeeper as much as he's the doubler. Then going into the defense, the five we've got is Gabriel, Trippier, Reguilon, Virgil van Dijk, and Doherty. Now, well, for me and in this team, I would look to play a 3-4-3 because, of course, you want to play all those top three strikers. So, looking at the defenders that I'll bring in, I'll definitely bring in Trippier. I'll definitely bring in Virgil van Dijk. Then I think it's really between. I would play Gabriel. I am probably saying, "Oh, Kat, why would you bring in the two doublers if you're not gonna play them?" Enablers, man. Enablers. They're 4.4 and 4.6. They allow you to have KDB, Foden, Tony, Darwin, Jota, and Haaland. So and on top of that, that's the best thing. The best thing about it as well is you have them on your bench in terms of like options. So free hit is not just to optimize your starting 11, but also your bench in the case that it's needed. So that's why I would have them there. If I'm feeling really risky, I would actually play. I like regular, but I play Doherty. I play Doherty. I feel like Brentford is gonna concede both. I think Doherty can steal an assist against Manchester United. Yeah, I think they can steal an assist against Manchester United. Hopefully or against Liverpool, considering I have that player, Virgil van Dijk. But yeah, I think he can steal an assist against Man United. So I don't see Reguilon really doing much against Man City and Liverpool. That's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that defense, including the goalkeeper pairing. Now, moving on to the midfielders, you got your two wingers, which are enablers, which is Garnacho and Barkley. Garnacho's going to have Luton there. So that's a good fixture for him. And then, of course, we've got the key doublers, which is Diogo Jota, De Bruyne, and Foden. That's my midfield five there. And then very obviously the front line is Tony, Darwin, and Haaland. So captaincy is going to be on Haaland this one. I don't think there's anything to think about. Well, okay, let's talk about captaincy quickly, right? Now, everybody's going to be triple captaining Haaland, right? Because it's a good fixtures. Now, maybe you need to catch up. Maybe you need to go against the crowd. So you're looking at, look, who is worthy of captaining? I think in this game week, there are three worthy. There's Kevin De Bruyne, Diogo Jota, and Darwin Núñez. Now, I think let's rank them. All right, let's rank them to help you go like, okay, cool, fine. These guys, if I wasn't captaining Haaland, or for some of you actually don't have Haaland, which is also the case, actually. You don't have Haaland, and you probably just can't bring him in. Out of those three, what is the tier? Now, personally, I think KDB should be first, right? And I'm starting from the top. KDB should be first because he, I think, is good for bonus points, better than Diogo Jota and Darwin. Secondly, he's playing in Man City in the sense of it's the best damn team. You know, they're going to be all out attack. He's going to be collecting balls, crossing balls, and all of that stuff. Thirdly, it's KDB. It's like the best assist king, probably going to be in the Premier League. You know, he's going for Premier League history, legend. And he's got Erling Haaland at the end of those balls. Like, let me tell you something, man. Haaland scores a hat-trick. KDB is there for at least two of those assists. Now that's and that's in one game. You know, I think, let's say Haaland does score 4 goals. I think KDB is there for 3 assists. Three of those goals. He's there for like 3 assists, and that's what, 9 points plus the 4 points from playing the 2 games. And then let's just give him another 4 points for the bonus. So that's about 17 points times 2. That's a good captaincy. Second, I would go Diogo Jota. And the only reason why is because I think he's a lot more clinical than Darwin Núñez, of course. And secondly, he's a midfielder. You know, he gets more for scoring goals. 1 point more, but that makes a difference when you double it. You know, so I also think that he is more suited to get a higher bonus points than Darwin would, because Darwin just misses like crazy, and you get like minus bonus points or stuff like that. And he also, I think he's also more enabled to assist rather than just score. I think Darwin is a bit limited in the sense of we're looking at him to mainly score. He does have a good ratio of goals and assists. Yes, he does. But I think Diogo Jota, for me, I'll put him ahead of Darwin. So it would be KDB if you have him. If you don't, Diogo Jota. And after that, then consider captaining Darwin. So yeah, folks, that's it for the show today. I hope we've covered a lot that can help you out in this game week and see what is the right team to play for you. I think that decision at the end of the day is the decision for you to make, using these tips really. And yeah, man, we'll be back with another show this week to do some team reveals and talk about which is the best chip to use really in this game week 25 doubler. So yeah, look out for that. Please, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me leave a heart sincere message about that. You know, I see a lot of views, and I'm honestly, if you at this part of the show, thank you. Like, honestly, thank you. You're listening, you're in tune. It actually means you like this content. So while you're listening to me right now, just tap on the screen, check the like, hit that like button, just to be like, okay, look, I don't like these things. I don't do liking, but because you asked so nicely, I'm gonna like this specific one. Like, and then in the comments, I say leave a comment, but like I'm gonna ask you a question. I'd like you guys to actually just answer it in the comment section. Um, based on your team, what do you think is the best chip strategy for Gameweek 25? And let us know who you captaining with or without Haaland. Yeah, let us know. Other than that, guys, you know what to do. Make sure you do subscribe, hit that notification button, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.